Alright guys, with the new beta Voyage at full swing right now for the week, let's kind of talk about what kind of character you guys should be focusing on at early games, especially ones that are easy to level up. So yeah, given the fact that it is only 7 days, so I think you guys should definitely know which ones you guys should kind of go for, especially early game meta. So when this game comes out in March, when you guys have a much longer time to play around with the game, you kind of know at that point in time, all right, we're gonna pick the same character when this comes out and it's gonna be all good. So let's kind of take a look in here. So right off the bat, when you take a look at the summoning tab, there are two things you're looking at. So this one is the all hero recruitment. So this is simply you are able to recruit, pretty much everything. The rate is going to be as follow. The epic hero are going to be at a 1.65%, while the elite are going to be at a 20%, and then the rest of them are going to be some of the acorns that you need as far as the ascensions, just leveling up and whatnot. So that's pretty much breaks down the summoning ratio. And then once we get down to the elite hero recruitment, this has a much higher rate at 5.22%, while the elite now are at 15%. So essentially there are two summoning banners in a way. So this one requires the invite letter, while this one requires the epic one. So this one is a little bit, well, you can say a little bit of a premium one in a sense. But before you actually do any summoning, please make sure you set what kind of character you actually want. This is why we are going to be talking about essentially what I think are actually good for early game meta and what kind of faction you might want to kind of focus on, especially early game meta, because they are a few I feel like it's a little bit easier for beginners, while some may require more luck, especially summoning those good characters to carry you on. Let's gonna start things out with the light bear team. So this is essentially what I think are good. Starting out with the elite. So first of all, we are able to pick. So essentially, you are able to pick, but I picked these two out of the 6 because I feel like they are a little bit more better at carrying in early game. If I can click on it. So first one we have Lucas. If I hello, can we? I'm on pressing it, but essentially, long story short, he is a tank, so he is going to be able to offer a shield to your allies. So especially early game on where you need to push stages, I know it was very hard, so I feel like this character is going to be able to provide that. Next one we have Mirio. So she is actually pretty good early game on, so I use her quite a lot early game on because she is able to do quite good damage. Some might say that she does not perform as good, but I think out of the bunch you actually get, there just isn't a lot of good options. Honestly, you can probably pick Valen. I think Valen is actually pretty good as well because early game on this character is actually free already, so you might actually want him as well. But I think for me, I'll pick Mirio just for that. As we head down to the epics, first and foremost we are going to be picking Rowan. I don't know why can I click on them, but essentially Rowan is a healer, so he is actually quite a good healer. It is going to be a little bit more challenging to get him, I feel like, because Rowan is a epic, so it may be harder, but it's definitely worth it. So we have that. This character we have, I think if we do it this way, yes. So we have her and Atlanta, I think that's how you pronounce her name. But anyways, she's actually quite a good marksman. She's able to do pretty good damage, overall AoE damage on the enemy lineup. So she's quite powerful when I first use her. I think she is definitely going to be able to provide good utility early game on, just that good damage overall. So not bad for that pick. So that's pretty much what I have for the light bear team. So heading down to the Mola team. So Mola team is actually there are a ton of options, but especially when we get down to the elite, quite easy. We have Odie. I think if we swap out like this, there you go. Odie is a really powerful elite character. That's why I feel like Mola team is really fun to play around with, especially when one of these stronger characters is an elite, so you have a much easier time to accumulate copies for ascension, leveling up. So that's why I do have mine at the highest star already. So it's pretty powerful. I can still go more, but this is essentially I can unlock pretty much everything possible for the character. So very good. Oh, we can actually collect in this as well. So I think the EX skill actually does a lot of good things because you can actually poison the character, so you are able to do dot damage on the target. So that's why it makes this character really powerful. There's nothing more than that. Like just really strong all around. So definitely a must-have. The second one we are going for Koger. It's actually quite a optimal DPS if you will, pretty strong. The other one we have like she's actually okay. Let's talk about her first. So she's more of a tank. I feel like for tank wise she does alright, but in comparison to let's say Lucas up top, I think she's kind of inferior in a way, even though they're different factions. But if you need a tank, for example, I think Lucas is definitely a little bit more better early game on for sure. All the other one for Muller, like especially her, not her, but her. So Satrana, I don't think she's good enough, even though she does quite okay damage, but she just kind of she pales in comparison in a sense. So that's why I'm not really gonna put her on the list. So that's why Koger and then Audi is gonna be my top pick for the elite. And then once we head down to the, all right, we have the epic. So epic first and foremost, I'm gonna be putting Smokey up top because he is a really good healer and is a pretty good partner to Audi. So that's why if you have him, make sure you have him Smokey as well because pretty good support for definitely. As far as like you want to like a DPS, there are a few options. All right, there's definitely a few. We have this one, Ride, actually a new character that just dropped for the latest patch. This character is quite good as well. It just the playing style. I feel like many would kind of disagree that this character is good, but with my many attempt using this in arena, using this in Dream Realm and even other stages, I feel like this character is able to allow you to push it in many situations, and you don't necessarily like die that often, that fast in a way. So I hardly regard this character as actually pretty good. But what other people might pick is probably him. So people might probably pick Brugus because of the fact that he can actually tank a lethal blow. I believe it's one of those skills that right. Let me see. Yeah, immune to the first fatal blow if he received, and then immune to all damage and becomes ineffective for 5 seconds. All right. So I think this is why this character could be good. But as far as me using it, I find myself dying relatively fast using this character because first of all, range is 1, so it's gonna be like a melee type character compared to Rai. So that's why I feel like if you want DPS wise, I think Rai is actually just better in my opinion. So that's what I have for the Molo team. And then once you get down to the Wilder team, Leica for the elite is actually quite strong. She just does insane damage and it's elite, so you are able to farm a lot more copies really easily. The other one we are picking Damien. Damien is not the most optimal healing, but if you want something that's relatively inexpensive, probably easier to get, Damien is probably a good option to get. And then for the elite, we are not the elite, the epic. Granny is definitely going to be the most high priority because of her tanking capability, just top notch. So if you are like early game on, if you are able to pair Granny with like Lucas over here, you are on a good spot, right? Definitely really good. And then for the other spot, we have a Heron over here. So she is another phenomenal support as well. So definitely a very good one to get. So if you guys are able to get her right out the bat, first healing capability, that's going to be really strong. The other option, they aren't necessarily that great early game on for a lot of people because first and foremost they are epics epics, so it may not come up as easy to get. So for DPS wise, I feel like the elite already covered that spot already. Okay, so once we get down to the Greyborn team, I feel like a lot of excellent option for Greyborn team is actually within the epic tier. So it's quite hard to say use Greyborn team faction early game on because like these two, you probably must have to kind of make that team right, and then you want to have this guy as well to make a good setup. So I feel like for Greyborn is a really hard team to use at the start, but essentially if you want to get something started, Cynthia is gonna be a great option because she just does a lot of damage. she does a lot. Besides just her as a character, she is able to summon a second character as well on the field, so it makes her really deadly to play against. And then we have a Dorn. He is actually just a great tank for the Great Pawn team, so definitely a must run. Just it's more like a backbone for the team in a sense, so it's definitely a must have as well. So you do have to have him. And then we have an Igor. So this guy is actually a more like a tactical player in your team. This character is really strategic as far as how you wanna, not really like you play it, but him himself when this character is in the battlefield is pretty invincible. So I feel like if you want to make a core Great Pawn team, it's a must to have this. So that's why I feel like Great Pawn team is relatively expensive early game on. The epic or the elite on this game isn't necessarily that great. These are my two pick options, but they aren't nearly as powerful as the epic, unfortunately. Just really sad. So I feel like the rest of the team, like the first three team, are actually just quite easy to play around, while the Great Pawn team is unfortunately hard to play. So you guys definitely let me know what you guys are able to pull. I'm definitely interested in to seeing how you guys pulls are doing. But without any further ado, let's actually hop into a quick summon as well, because I do actually have enough ticket to do one full multi summon. So on here I can actually repick what I want on here as well. So let me see what I have and don't have. So also wishlist right here as well. We have that. But for these, we can actually just kind of pick what kind of S tier level character we want on here as well. So I think I'm kind of content with what I have over here. Let's do this. And then the rest we can just kind of, I think I want another copy of Smokey actually. I think this will do. So let's see if we can potentially get some more Greatborn epics, because I don't have much. So let's see. No, we lost. No, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I'm just gonna skip through this actually, because most of them are just gonna be Acorn. Oh, I mean, we got Audi, so I mean, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it as far as my recommendation for early game for the AFK journey. Hopefully you guys are able to pull some powerful characters so you guys can go ahead and explore through different gameplay mode and whatnot. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for me, and I'll be catching you guys up on the next one.